Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. It is still Victory Monday, technically, 10:30 p.m. Central Time, my time, December 11th. If you're watching this episode and you have not subscribed, I implore you, please hit the red subscribe button. It's free. It costs you nothing. Think of it as a free investment because this show, in time, will grow into one of the shows you look forward to watching, like the Law Nations and the Mark Holmes and the Mike Fishers and the Jay Tucks and the Big Dogs. Right now, I'm still a small cat, but my first goal is at 500. I'm at 366 right now. Brothers and sisters that bleed blue and silver, help me get to 500, then to 1,000. And then when they hit 1,000, this thing will skyrocket, I guarantee you. Studio equipment, sound bites, all that, and a call-in line for every live show I do. Call-in line is essential, and I don't know why Law is the only one that does it. Everybody should do it when they do live shows. My first game was Super Bowl 28 against Buffalo. Ever since then, I've bled blue and silver. No rhyme or reason. It just happened that way. So we're entering Week 15 of the NFL season 2023. Week 15. San Fran, Dallas, and Philly locked at 10-3. San Fran has the head-to-head against us and Philly. Detroit lost against Chicago, drops to 9-4. Right now, Tampa Bay is the 1 seed in the North, or the South, actually, at 6-7, along with Atlanta and New Orleans at 6-7 as well. Right now, Seattle right now would be the 9th seed in the NFC, 6-7, but they're still very dangerous. They played us super tight 2 Thursdays ago. They played San Fran, a pretty good game. DK Metcalf had a few plays that didn't go his way. Seattle played a good game against San Fran. The Eagles are bleeding right now. They are leaking oil, transmission fluid, brake fluid, everything. Right now they are leaking everything. They are bleeding severely. They need to put a tourniquet on it before they mess around and become the 2020 Steelers, who started 11-0 and finished 12-4. This Eagles team has, after 13 games, suffered attrition to a level I've never seen a team have so much attrition after 13 games. This team is tired and beat up. They go into the bye week after beating us. They go into the bye week, and you would think they would recharge. They come out. They go to Kansas City. They pull it out at the very end. We get through that at home against Buffalo, and Buffalo takes them to overtime. Very physical matchup. Both teams get beat up. Then the following week, they play San Fran, who had a 10-day rest period, mini bye week, and San Fran really punches them in the face. And when you play the Niners, you're sore for the whole week afterwards. And then they play us right after that, who's coming off a 10-day rest, mini bye week, and get smacked in the mouth again. I mean, in the fourth quarter last night, you could see the Eagle defenders. Actually, late in the third quarter, you can see the Eagle defenders breathing heavy. All of them. And what gets me is, I know they lost 5 starters from last year on defense, right? 2 safeties, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who was tied for the NFL lead in interceptions. Marcus Epps was a good, strong safety. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was a great free safety. I think he's better than Kevin Byard. TJ Edwards was a stone cold linebacker last season for him. Had like 160 tackles. They think, that kid from Georgia that they drafted last season, Kobe Dean, was going to be the answer. He has been a flop so far. Kind of like Damone Clark's been disappointing for us, but just Damone Clark has been playing light years better than Kobe Dean, if that's telling you anything. And they lose Javon Hargrave. Their record up the middle. Jalen Carter is a Hargrave Jr. As a rookie, he's playing really good. Really good. But he's not as good as Javon Hargrave as of right now. Maybe in his third season, he might surpass Hargrave. But right now, Hargrave is the better defensive tackle. Jalen Carter is good, though. So it was the two safeties, the starting linebacker, Hargrave, and Kazir White, the other linebacker that they lost. They bring in Nicholas Morrow at linebacker to replace Kazir White. So that was kind of a wash. So they come into the season with Reed Blankenship and, I forgot the other safety. Terrell Edmonds at safety. And they trade for Kevin Byard at the trade deadline. And they just signed Shaq Leonard to help, stop the run and pass rush. Since they've traded for Kevin Byard, 3-time All-Pro, free safety, ball hawk, he had 1 interception against Kansas City. Other than that, he's been, really non-existent. Last night, we didn't see him make 1 play. But we saw 33-year-old Stephon Gilmore played probably his best game of the season so far. And that is very encouraging because I would like to see him play for us again next season. He'll be 34 next year. And if he stays in shape and does what he does, I don't believe he loses that much of a step, from 33 to 34. I believe next season he could be as good next year as he is this season. And he was a godsend trade that we got. Thank the Lord we were able to get him. Brandon Cooks getting involved in this offense more and more. Jake Ferguson breaking out of his shell. As a rookie, I said Jake Ferguson's going to be something special. I call him Travis Kelce Jr. Even Travis Kelce was propping up Ferg last season. Jake Ferguson's going to be something special, guys. I'm telling y'all, he's going to be the 4th tight end in franchise history. We had a very good one in the late 70s, 80s. Then we had Novacek in the 90s. Then Jason Witten. Now number 4 is going to be Jake Ferguson. He's going to be the next great tight end. And he has got an attitude and swag about him I love. Something Jason Witten didn't have. Witten was a very moderate, quiet type guy. Baller. Straight up baller. But he didn't have the attitude and swag like Ferguson does. Ferguson done hurdled his 3rd defender yesterday. Hurdled another guy. That's his 3rd hurdle in his career. He did it once in his rookie season, twice this year. You don't see tight ends hurdle guys. Michael Gallup dropped the first pass thrown to him yesterday on that same pattern that if he'd have caught, he probably would have scored. Hit his head on goalposts. But besides that, he's getting better slowly little by little. He's very good at drawing pass interference penalties. He drew one last night. He caught a nice fade pattern down the sideline late in the game. And he also caught that, quick slant touchdown. I think that was his first or second score of the year. And Dak Prescott, in his 8th season, 31 years old, he has crossed into that upper echelon of quarterbacks. He is not just a good quarterback anymore, not just a franchise QB, but he is becoming a great quarterback. Right now, he's number one in the MVP race. Been 30 years since we had a Cowboy win the Most Valuable Player award. That's Emmitt Smith, 1993. If Dak Prescott wins MVP and takes us to Vegas, he can write his own, blank check. But I hope he's not that greedy. That's what I don't get about these players. They make a certain amount of money to where they're set for life. And then once you do that, it should be all about winning. After Dak fulfills this contract, he's going to get his extension. That's for damn sure. Especially if he goes on the road and beats Buffalo and Miami, and comes home and beats Detroit. I believe we're going to win out. I believe we went out 14-3 was my prognostication before the season started. After 8 games, we were 5-3, so I was not feeling good about my 14-3 pick. I was like, well, maybe we'll finish 12-5. 14-3, put it in the bank. I guaranteed a Philadelphia victory yesterday. Only guarantee that I guaranteed that was horrible and was wrong was Week 5 against San Fran. That was just spur of the moment. Don't know why I did that. We will win out. We will go to Buffalo. They're favored by 1.5. Orchard Park. We're going to beat them in their own house. We're going to go to Miami. We're going to play them how we're supposed to play them. We're going to beat them. We're going to beat down Detroit. We're going to beat Detroit down. And then finish off Washington on the road. Doubt is creeping into the mind of the Eagles right now. Before the bye week, right now they're 10-3. So before the bye week, they were 9-1 going into the bye week, I believe. And now they're 10-3. They're 2-2 after the bye week. So that means they were 8-1. Yeah, they were 8-1 going into the bye. Coming out of the bye, they go to Kansas City, trailing by 10 at halftime. Come back, win the game because Mahomes and Kansas City, who's 8-5 now, the Chiefs have lost 4 of the last 6 because Scantling drops, potential game-winning touchdown pass. And then the following play, 4th and 25, he throws a 28-yard pass to Watson, the tight end, who also drops it. So Philadelphia lucks out in that game, escapes. They've won 9 games this season by 1 score. That's not sustainable. And then Buffalo comes to their house, takes them to overtime. Josh Allen has Gabe Davis wide open in the end zone, open. Gabe Davis runs a corner pattern. Josh Allen throws him a post. If they'd have just been on the same page halfway, that would have been a pitch and catch, game over. Philadelphia escapes that one. And then San Fran comes into town. Into Philly, favored by 3. And they stomp them down 42-19. Then they're coming into our house. We're favored by 3.5. A lot of people picking Philly just because they don't think we're for real. And we give them a beat down very similar to what San Fran did. And San Fran, we didn't really follow the defensive blueprint. San Fran blitzed them 9.6% of the snaps. Lowest of any team that's played Philly so far this year. Second lowest was the Jets at like 12.5%. 2 teams that beat them. We were bringing the blitz. We were bringing the heat and coverage and just jailbreaking blitz. Putting pressure on Jalen Hurts. He was uncomfortable all game. As you saw, like 6 or 7 wildly bad thrown balls because he had no time to throw the ball. And he hit the clock in his head was expiring instantly. How our defense can allow 35 against Seattle and then come back and allow 6 against Philly. Philly has a better structured offense. The structure of it's better. But I think Seattle is just playing better on offense. I don't know, because they had 3 games where they didn't break 17 points. They have just as much talent at the skill positions as Philly does, just not as good as of an offensive line. But Seattle, just like Buffalo, is dangerous. And right now, Seattle is number 9, and they'd be the 9th seed, which is not a playoff seed. So the 1 game back into getting back into that number 7 seed. So when Philly goes to the Link Monday night, that's a tough place to play, especially in prime time with the 12th man there. Geno Smith should be good to go. He didn't play against San Fran, and Seattle still put up a good fight against the Niners. They put up a good fight against us. Geno Smith comes out with DK Metcalf, Lockett, and JSN. Noah Fant and Will Disley at tight end. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet at running back. That Seattle offense, as long as they can give Geno Smith just enough time to throw the football, should be able to carve up that Philly defense, especially at home. I would not be surprised if the Eagles drop their 3rd in a row at Seattle week 15. That Seattle defense is kind of like Philly's defense. A lot of big names, but not playing up to its potential. Like I said before, Philly, you got Darius Slay, James Bradbury's. I don't think Bradbury's that good of a corner, but whatever. Now you got Kevin Byard, 3-time first team All-Pro safety. You have Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, 2 old guys that are still balling. You got Jordan Davis, who is a good one technique run stuffer. You got Jalen Carter, who is a force to be reckoned with as a rookie defensive tackle. Just star players, star names all over that defense. But they're just a bunch of individuals. They're not a unit. And they can't stop a nosebleed. Seattle, they got at corner, they got Devin Witherspoon, who should be neck and neck with Jalen Carter for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Devin Witherspoon's been balling out at corner. On the opposite side, you got Tariq Woolen, 2nd-year cornerback, 6'4", big, tall, fast corner. 2 lockdown guys. Safeties, Quandre Diggs, free safety. Good free safety. Jamal Adams, strong safety. You box guy. The guy that can lay the leather, he can still lay the leather and help you stop that run. Jaron Reed, anchor in the middle of that defensive line. And then Bobby Wagner, still there. Middle linebacker, all world, still as good as they come. Seattle has a lot of star players. Pete Carroll is a hell of a good coach. And he's going to see what San Fran did and what we did. And he's going to come out with a game plan similar to what the Niners did and what we did. Take a little bit from each one and make up his own defensive game plan against that Eagles offense. And he's going to let Geno cut loose. I guarantee you, Geno Smith probably throws for 55 attempts. But on the flip side of that coin, ever since the Kansas City game, Eagles' run defense has been leaky. Before the bye week, Eagles were allowing 40 yards, 36 yards on the ground a game. Their run defense was that stout. Nobody could run the ball in Philly. After the bye week, they go to KC. Pacheco and company runs for over $150 on them. Following week against Buffalo, they run for $150 on them. Then they host the Niners. The Niners run for 136. And then last night we ran for almost 140. So, as bad as the Eagles' secondary is, if their run defense is starting to get leaky now, then that defense is just completely horrible. And that's that's why I believe that they can easily lose at Seattle Week 15. I think the Seahawks can put up 40 points on that team. They put up 35 on us, and our defense is better than their defense is. Our secondary is better. Deron Bland had a bad game, got torched. I think you put DK on James Bradbury. I think DK eat his lunch all day. Put Tyler Lockett on Slay. Lockett with his, veteran savviness, skill set, can make plays on Slay. Same with the rookie, JSN's getting better game by game. Just let Geno cook and keep that run game going with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Sunday, I've got a chance to go to the game. My buddy's got a ticket, wants me to go. He's going to be in Buffalo, taking a little vacation. But I was going to wait until after the Eagles game before I decided to go, because if we would have lost, I would not go, because the game would have implications. So on Friday, it was like $500 round trip, Houston to Buffalo and back. After the Eagles win, it's like $1,500 round trip there and back. So I'm thinking of just staying home and just getting tickets to the Lions game, which is just 4 hours away. You don't drive to Dallas. I don't think I'm going to spend that much money on playing. I would love to go to an away game, but I'm probably just going to go to Detroit. But Sunday, if we go into Orchard Park and handle business against Buffalo, which we should, we should. We are number one in the NFL in point differential with 188 point differential. 188 more points we scored than our opponents. Number one. Buffalo is ranked. Hell, I don't know the rank, but their point differential is 104. So Buffalo puts up points too. Now, this is the thing. We're 3-3 on the road so far this season. 3-3. At home, our point differential is plus 24.4 points. On the road, it's plus 2.8 points on the road. Our point differential is 0.2 is almost 3 points. Plus 3 points on the road. Really because of that San Fran beatdown. You take that 42-10 game away, then our point differential on the road is a lot better. Buffalo, their point differential at home is plus 15.2. So they play very well at home, just like we do. They haven't won 15 straight, but they play good at home. Just beat Kansas City, but KC's lost 4 of their last 6. After starting 6-1, they are 8-5. Denver's 1 game back in the division. Wouldn't that be something if Denver won the West? That'd be nuts. Just a little quick tail of the tape, like you see before a big boxing match. We're number 2 in pass yards with 3,619. We're number 1 in passing touchdowns with 28. Buffalo is number 7 in pass yards with 3,447. They're number 4 with 25 passing touchdowns. So Buffalo can sling that ball around pretty good, just like we do. Our run attack, we're 11th in the league with 1,542 yards on the ground. We're tied 7th with 12 rushing touchdowns. Buffalo is ranked 10th rushing with 1,586 yards. Like 44 more yards than we have. and tied for 5th with 15 rushing touchdowns. On defense, our pass defense is ranked 6th. We've allowed only 2,635 yards through the air. Buffalo's ranked 13th. They've allowed 2,945 through the air, almost 3,000 yards through the air. Something to watch for. We're 4th in completion percentage. We're only allowing 60.2 completion percentage, with the opposite quarterback. Buffalo, on the other hand, is ranked 23rd, giving up a 66.2 completion percentage rating to the opposing quarterback. Something that Dak can take advantage of big time. We're tied for 5th in the NFL. We've only allowed 17 passing touchdowns. Same with Buffalo. They've only allowed 17 passing touchdowns. We're 4th in the NFL with 13 interceptions. 4th. They're 5th with 12. When you look at these stats, we're pretty closely matched, Buffalo and us. We're 4th in picks, they're 5th. Sacks, we're tied with 6 with 39. They're tied in 3rd with 42 sacks. So 3 sack different. I mean, they got 42, we have 39. Our rush defense is ranked 14th in the league. We've allowed 1,378 yards on the ground. Their rush defense is ranked 19th. They've allowed 1,482 yards. We can run the ball on this Buffalo Bill defense. If we can get that run game going like we've been getting it going the last few games. I mean, we were running the ball against Philly pretty good. That combination with Rico and TP is looking pretty nice right now. And that's without seeing 40 ounce or Deuce Vaughn. And then our yards per carry, we've allowed 4.1 yards per carry. That's tied for 6th. They're 12th in allowing 4.7 yards per carry. So Buffalo is allowing almost 5 yards a tote on defense. Something that we could probably take advantage of with our offensive line. Our starting 5 started playing together, week 6, week 7, and it was a slow start. But the starting 5 is starting to gel, and that starting 5 is starting to become a top unit, top 5 offensive line unit. Tyron Wednesdays, best idea McCarthy ever came up with. The man don't need to practice. Keep him in shape, keep him informed of the game plan, have him do a brisk walk through Friday and Saturday, and put him in pads on Sunday. Tyron Smith looks like he's 5 years younger this season, and that gives us reason to believe that he ought to be able to play another 1, 2, 3 more seasons, as long as you keep him in bubble wrap like we're doing. And we're doing the same thing with Zach Martin. Zach Martin Wednesdays. He don't need to practice either. Why risk it? Our offensive line is getting better every week. Our offensive line dominated Philly's defensive line. Our offensive line with Tyron, Tyler, Mr. Beadash, Martin, and Steele dominated that of Sweat, Cox, Carter, Davis, Graham. We dominated in the trenches on both sides of the ball. But most impressive was our offensive line, how they protected Dak and how they opened up lanes in the run game. And defensive touchdowns. We have 6 total. We got 1 scoop and score that Van Der Esch against Patriots. We have 1 safety, it says. I don't recall getting a safety. Apparently we got 1. And we have, of course, 5 pick sixes, as we know. Buffalo has 1 pick 6, 1 defensive touchdown this season. Special teams. Go to special teams. Tail of the tape. This is tail of the tape right here. We're number 2 in field goals made with 30. 100%. We haven't missed. They're 10th with 20 field goals made. 80%. That means they've attempted 25, made 20. They missed 5 field goals this season. Our kick return average is 22.9. Theirs is 21.8. We are dead last in punt return average, 5.8 yards return. They're at 16 with 8.8. When you look at the numbers, these two teams look pretty even as far as what the offense and defense does, except our defense is better statistically in almost every category. But offensively, pretty even there. Pretty even. We have a better offensive line than they do. Our offensive line's better. Dawson Knox is out for the season for them, so they have a rookie, Dalton Kincaid, as their top tight end. Jake Ferguson, I believe, is better than Kincaid. Ferguson's going to be a monster. Stephon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb. I think Lamb is a better receiver. I think Lamb is a top 3 receiver in this league. He is ascending every week. Gabe Davis as Buffalo's number 2. Brandon Cooks just as good as he is. Brandon Cooks, 6,000-yard receiving seasons. 6 different quarterbacks. The receiver number 3, I don't know who it is. But we know we have Gallup and Turpin and Tolbert kind of playing that receiver 3 role. Gallup makes plays when he needs to, as does Tolbert, as does Turpin. And Turpin on them end rounds is dangerous. Then we go down to quarterback. Josh Allen's been a turnover machine this season. Turnover machine. Dak Prescott has not. Since week 7, Dak is at 22 touchdown passes to 2 interceptions. Playing out of his mind. I expect him to go into Orchard Park on the road in hostile territory. His last road game was, besides Panthers, his last big road game was at Philly, and he played great. He just had a few miscues, small miscues, that made a big difference. That was against Eagles when they were playing better than they are now. Buffalo's defense, who do they have? They have Von Miller, who is still not back, fully from that knee tear. They have Ed Oliver, Leonard Floyd in that front 7. Jordan Poirier as, safety. Their corners, I'm not too big on their cornerbacks. I think Dak Prescott can slice and dice this defense, whether it's cold, whether it's drizzly. The weather report says at kickoff it's supposed to be about 40 degrees and sunny. And then later on in the game, it'll probably drop to about 30. But no high winds expected. No downfall, no rain. So far, that's what the weather predicts. But as you know, it could change. Buffalo's favored by 1.5. My early score prediction, my Monday score prediction for Sunday is Cowboys 35, Buffalo 17, 35-17. Our offense gets the ball in the end zone 5 times. Aubrey don't need to kick a field goal this game. He doesn't have a field goal attempt. I would like him to. I'd like him to get an attempt outdoors because a lot of his field goal attempts have been indoors. So let's say 38. Let's say 38. Because we put up a lot of points. Say 38-17. Dominant fashion win against Buffalo on the road. And then after that, Monday night, we go to work, we come home, we get ready to watch Seattle play Philly. And if Philly drops against Seattle, that'll be their 3rd conference loss, as we have 3 NFC losses ourselves. If they lose against Seattle, not only will we have a better record at 11-3, they'll be 10-4, but they'll also have 3 conference losses. It'll go down to tiebreaker procedure number 5, which is strength of victory on your schedule. And our strength of victory is, it's not even close. Our point differential is 188. The Eagles' point differential is plus 21. They've outscored their opponents by 21 points all season. The Eagles, 10-3 Eagles, outscored their guys, their opponents, by 21 points. That's it. That's their point differential to our 188. If we handle our business and Seattle drops Philly on Monday night, I believe Philly will go limping into New York, who right now I think is giving Green Bay a fight and could possibly be a 5-loss, could possibly finish 12-5 if they lose against Seattle. Because if they lose against Seattle, it's 3 in a row. They'll know that they're a game behind us, and they'll know that the tiebreaker procedure might not be in their favor at that time. If they lose against Seattle, then they have to most likely have a better record than us to win the division, because we'll have most likely the same division record of 501. Head-to-head, split games, 3 NFC losses apiece. And if that's the case, then San Fran, they have Baltimore week 17. That's a game that they can lose. Baltimore is a real deal. Baltimore and the Rams went to overtime today. The Rams have been playing good. The Rams and or Baltimore could give San Fran their 4th loss. The Arizona game that we dropped earlier this season is the snake that's just crawling behind us, waiting to bite us in the ass. But if we take care of our business and the chips fall where they may, there's a good chance that we can get that 1 seed. If we get that 1 seed, NFC, watch out, because at home we are unbelievable. Unbelievable. I believe we went out. I believe we beat Buffalo and Miami on the road. I believe Detroit we handle at home. And then if it's win and we get the number 1 seed week 18, then we go all out against Washington, at Washington. And then, take it from there. Guys, this is 2023. The last 27 years has nothing to do with this season. 1996, 1999, 1998 when we went 10-6, lost against Arizona in round 1. Doesn't matter. 1999 when we started off 3-0. Then week 4, Michael Irvin broke his neck, ruined our season, finished 8-8, fell to Minnesota in the first round. Doesn't matter. 2003, 10-6, wild card. We go to Carolina, lose in the first round. Doesn't matter. 2006, finish 9-7, go to Seattle, famous Botch Romo snap, lose in the first round. Don't matter. 2007, number 1 seed. Wasn't done by the Giants. Doesn't matter. 2009. Second round against Minnesota. Get obliterated 34-3. Doesn't matter. 2014, Des caught it. Well, you know what he did, but that's ancient history. Doesn't matter. 2016, Aaron Rodgers pulls a miracle out of his ass. Doesn't matter. 2018, the Rams run through us literally to an 8-point win. Doesn't matter. The last 2 seasons, San Fran's been a roadblock. Doesn't matter. If we get the 1 seed and the road to Vegas goes through AT&T Stadium, I don't care if it's the Niners or who it is. They come into our house. We are playing as good as football as anybody in this league. We're playing as good as San Fran is right now and as good as Baltimore is. top 3 teams in the NFL right now: San Fran, Dallas, and Baltimore. That number 1 seed is crucial. Crucial. If San Fran gets it, and we still win the division, oh well, with the 2 seed, we get 2 games at home. Good shot at getting to the championship game, and on the road in the Bay Area. I'm not intimidated. Dak's not intimidated. This team has swagger, attitude, physicality, everything that we need to do what we got to do, guys. Week 15 is huge. It is huge. If Philly drops at Seattle and we beat Buffalo, then we control our own destiny for the number 2 seed at minimum. And if San Fran drops 1, even better. Then we get the 1. Let's do it. Saddle up, boys. Let's go shoot down some buffalo. Skin them, cook them, and eat them. After that, let's go fishing. Catch some dolphins. Fry them, eat them. After that, let's get our rifles and go lion hunting. Take a few of them out. Skin them, cook them, eat them. And then, last week of the season, Cowboys and Indians. Old fashioned. Guys, please subscribe, like, and share. I went 41 minutes. I usually don't go this long. I wanted to get a good night's sleep tonight. I want to get like 7 hours. Please subscribe, guys. Every subscriber counts. And please share this content if you will. And hit that like button. That like button helps the video get viewed more. Keep God first and foremost in your life. He goes before everything, even this. Seek Him and His righteousness, and all the other things in your life will be added unto you. I am a living testimony of that. All right, guys. We got some stuff to talk about later on this week. Enjoy this week. Enjoy this win. On the Buffalo, on the Orchard Park. If I can get there, I will. If I can find a decent deal. I'm not paying $1,500 to get over there, but I would like to get over there because I got a ticket with my name on it. And I would love to be part of that crowd noise. Man, the tickets went up because of the game, the lady said at Southwest Airlines. That's how Cowboy Nation travels. I was like, no, are you serious? From Friday to today, $500 round trip to $1,500 round trip. All because everybody's going to Buffalo. That's insane. We'll see what happens. But y'all enjoy y'all's week, guys. Have a good Tuesday. Subscribe, like, and share. Charles in Charge is out. And this season is special. Like I say, get your popcorn ready because it's going to be a show. Said a wise man named Terrell Owens once. Charles in Charge is out.